What if the key to success and happiness isn't about trying harder, but about learning to master your mind? What if, by embracing one of the oldest philosophies known to humankind, you could train yourself to become invincible in the face of adversity? This is the power of Stoicism, a power that could transform your life from ordinary to extraordinary, no matter your circumstances. So, if you're ready to unlock the hidden forces of your mind, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Welcome to Stoic Mastery, where we break down the life-changing power of Stoicism and equip you with the mental tools for unstoppable success and unshakable happiness. Number 1, the Stoic mindset. Understanding its core. What if I told you that the key to success and happiness isn't about striving harder or looking for external solutions, but about mastering your mind? The power to transform your life lies in how you think, how you respond to the world around you, and the wisdom you hold within your thoughts. This ancient philosophy, Stoicism, can teach you exactly how to do that. It offers practical tools that can elevate you from ordinary to extraordinary, regardless of your circumstances. At its core, Stoicism is a philosophy founded on understanding and controlling our responses to external events, rather than being controlled by them. Stoic thinkers, like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, recognize that we can't control the world around us, but we can control how we react to it. They taught that true peace and happiness come from the ability to shape our internal world, no matter what's going on outside of us. Let's begin by talking about a fundamental Stoic principle: the dichotomy of control. This is the idea that there are two categories in life: things we can control and things we cannot. Everything external, like other people's actions, the weather, or the economy, is beyond our control. However, we have full control over how we choose to respond to those things. We can't stop bad things from happening, but we can choose how we react to them. Take a moment to think about the situations that stress you out the most. Is it something that's happening outside of you? Perhaps a disagreement with a colleague, a financial setback, or a personal loss. Now ask yourself, can I control any of those things? Most likely the answer is no. But here's the empowering part. You can control your response to them. Stoicism teaches us that when we shift our energy from trying to control the uncontrollable to focusing on controlling our actions, thoughts, and attitudes, we immediately reclaim our power. This mindset shift is revolutionary. It allows you to stop reacting emotionally to every little setback or problem. Instead of spending your time worrying about things you can't change, you focus on what you can: a calm mind, purposeful action, and a peaceful soul. That's how you unlock the true power of Stoicism. The Stoic mindset is about internal control. It's about learning how to master your thoughts and emotions. It's realizing that the external world doesn't have to dictate your inner peace. When you're faced with challenges, you don't see them as obstacles to your happiness. Instead, you see them as opportunities for growth, for honing your virtue, for becoming a better version of yourself. So, let me ask you a question. What's something in your life that's causing you anxiety, stress, or frustration right now? Is it something beyond your control? If it is, you can choose to let go of that stress and focus on how you can act in response to it. By practicing the Stoic mindset, you no longer give power to things outside of you. You focus on your thoughts, your actions, your character. To get started on this journey, I want to hear from you. Comment below with the phrase, "I control my mind, and nothing else controls me." Let's commit together to mastering our minds and embracing the power that lies within us. Next, we'll explore another powerful Stoic principle that will deepen your understanding of how to reshape your experiences: the power of perception. How you see the world will determine how you experience it. Stay with me, because this next step is key to training your mind for success and happiness. Number 2, the power of perception. One of the most powerful lessons that Stoicism can teach us is the idea that our perception shapes our reality. What this means is that the way you interpret the world, the stories you tell yourself about the events in your life, can either empower you or hold you back. The Stoic thinkers understood that while we cannot control everything that happens to us, we always have control over how we perceive those events. And it's in this perception that our true power lies. Let's break this down. In life, bad things are going to happen. People will disappoint you. Opportunities will slip away, and things may not always go your way. But Stoicism teaches us that our suffering doesn't come from the events themselves, but from how we choose to interpret them. Think about it. The same event can be experienced completely differently depending on how we perceive it. One person might see a setback as a failure, while another sees it as a learning opportunity. The difference isn't in the event, it's in the interpretation. This is where Stoic practices like cognitive reframing come into play. Reframing is the art of shifting your perspective on a situation. So instead of seeing it as a negative experience, you choose to view it as an opportunity for growth. For example, if you lose a job, instead of focusing on the loss, a Stoic mindset encourages you to see it as a chance to explore new opportunities or even redirect your career path in a more fulfilling direction. Instead of thinking, "This is a disaster," you think, "This is an opportunity to grow and find something better." In a way, this technique can be tied to dark psychology, a field that emphasizes understanding and influencing human behavior. In dark psychology, there's an emphasis on controlling your environment and emotions by manipulating perceptions. Stoicism isn't about manipulation in a negative sense, but it does acknowledge that by controlling your perception of an event, you can control your emotional response and take back your power. For instance, let's say someone insults you. A typical reaction might be to feel angry, defensive, or upset. But the Stoic approach would be to stop and ask, why does this insult affect me? What does it reveal about me that I'm allowing this to hurt me? This shift allows you to step away from a purely emotional response and look at the situation logically. You see that the insult reflects more about the other person than about you, and that your emotional response is a choice. The more you practice reframing, the more powerful you become over your emotional world. This is an incredibly empowering tool. By mastering the way you perceive the world, you can stop being a victim of circumstances and start becoming the architect of your own happiness. You realize that even in the face of adversity, you have a choice. You choose how to react. You choose how to perceive the situation. And with that power, you can shape a life filled with less stress and more inner peace. Now let's take a moment to hear from you. I want you to think of a situation in your life right now where you feel you're being negatively affected by external events. How can you change your perception of that situation? Share your thoughts with me in the comments below, and remember, I control my mind and nothing else controls me. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Stoic Techniques for more powerful wisdom on how to train your mind for success. Next up, we're diving deeper into one of Stoicism's core concepts, the dichotomy of control. How to stop wasting energy on things that don't serve you. Stay tuned. Number 3, the dichotomy of control, what to focus on. If you want to know the secret to living a life of less stress, more success, and inner peace, it's time to embrace the Stoic concept of the dichotomy of control. This is one of the most powerful and life-changing ideas in Stoic philosophy. The principle is simple but profound. There are 2 categories of things in life: things you can control and things you cannot control. Now imagine if you could clear all the clutter from your mind by focusing only on what's within your control and letting go of everything else. That's exactly what the dichotomy of control helps you do. It shows you that anything outside of your own thoughts, actions, and reactions is beyond your control. This includes things like the weather, the actions of other people, or the outcomes of certain situations. You can't control those things, so why waste your energy trying? Think about the amount of energy you spend worrying about things you can't control. Maybe you're anxious about a job interview, stressing over the opinions of others, or feeling frustrated with your financial situation. The more you focus on these external factors, the more you allow them to dictate your emotional state. And that's where stress and anxiety start to creep in, because you're putting your mental energy into things that are out of your reach. But what if you stopped trying to control those things and focused only on what you can actually influence? For instance, you can control your preparation for that job interview, how you choose to spend your money, or how you react to someone's opinion. You can't control the outcome, but you can control your effort and your attitude. The Stoics believed that by focusing on this internal control, you would achieve a sense of tranquility and resilience. It's not about getting the job or making the most money. It's about doing your best and responding to whatever happens with wisdom and composure. This principle applies to everything in life. For example, if someone cuts you off in traffic, you can't control their actions, but you can control how you react. You can choose to get angry, or you can choose to let it go and stay calm. What matters is how you respond to the situation, not the situation itself. The same applies to challenges you face in your career, personal relationships, or even your health. Focusing on what you can control gives you the power to shape your experience, rather than letting the outside world dictate your emotional state. The dichotomy of control is about energy management. When you focus on what's in your control, you're investing your energy in things that matter and things that you can directly influence. This gives you a sense of purpose and inner peace because you're no longer wasting time and energy on things that are beyond your reach. You realize that success and happiness come not from external validation, but from your own actions and reactions. So, I want to challenge you. Take a moment to reflect. What's one thing in your life right now that's stressing you out or causing you frustration? Is it something you can control? If not, how can you shift your focus back to what you can influence? Comment below with the phrase, "I focus only on what I control," and share how you'll begin applying this mindset in your life. If this concept resonated with you, be sure to like this video and subscribe to Stoic Techniques for more powerful Stoic insights. Stay tuned, because up next, we're going to explore how embracing adversity can become your greatest strength. Let's dive in. Number 4. Embracing adversity, the Stoic path to resilience. One of the most profound lessons from Stoic philosophy is that adversity is not something to fear, but something to embrace. In fact, the Stoics believed that it is through adversity that we are forged, that we grow, and that we develop the resilience necessary to live a life of virtue and success. Instead of avoiding hardship, we must learn to welcome it, because it is in those moments that we are presented with the greatest opportunities for growth. This is where the Stoic concept of amor fati, or love of fate, comes into play. Amor fati is the idea that we should love everything that happens to us, both good and bad, because everything is a part of the grand design of our lives. Every challenge, every setback, and every obstacle is an opportunity to practice wisdom, self-control, and virtue. By accepting adversity, we stop seeing it as something negative and start seeing it as an essential part of our journey. Now, let's explore how adversity actually works in your favor. When something difficult happens, maybe you lose a job, face personal rejection, or go through a hard time in your relationships, your immediate instinct might be to react emotionally. You might feel anger, fear, or frustration. But this is where the Stoic mindset sets you apart from the rest of the world. Stoics don't allow themselves to be consumed by negative emotions. Instead, they ask, how can I grow from this? What can I learn from this experience? They understand that every difficulty is a chance to exercise their character and build inner strength. In modern terms, think of adversity as a test of your mental fortitude, your patience, your capacity for empathy, and your ability to adapt. If you approach each setback with the mindset that it's there to teach you something, then each struggle becomes a stepping stone toward becoming a stronger, more resilient person. Instead of seeing failure as a permanent setback, you begin to see it as a lesson in disguise. This is where Stoicism intersects with principles of dark psychology, not in a manipulative sense, but in terms of understanding how challenges shape your mind. In dark psychology, there's a concept that explores how people use hardship to strengthen their psychological defenses. Stoicism doesn't view hardship as a means to manipulate or control, but it does teach that adversity is a tool for developing mental and emotional strength. It's about transforming suffering into strength. The Stoics believed that our response to hardship is everything. We have the power to choose our reaction, and that reaction determines the course of our life. For example, when faced with a tough situation, you can choose to respond with bitterness and resentment, or you can choose to respond with grace and determination. The key is to recognize that you always have a choice. You can either allow adversity to defeat you, or you can use it as fuel to rise stronger. I want to ask you now, how have you faced adversity in your life? What difficult experience have you had that, looking back, made you a stronger person? Think about it, because every hardship you faced has helped shape you into who you are today. In the comments, share your thoughts and let me know. Turn your trials into triumphs. What was a difficult moment that shaped you for the better? If you're gaining value from this content, hit like and make sure you're subscribed to Stoic Techniques for more powerful wisdom that will help you turn challenges into stepping stones on your path to success. Up next, we'll explore one of the most powerful Stoic practices that can shift your entire perspective: negative visualization. Let's dive in. Number 5, negative visualization, harnessing the power of anticipation. Imagine if the key to mental strength and emotional resilience wasn't about avoiding negative outcomes, but about preparing for them. This is exactly what negative visualization, a Stoic practice, teaches us: to imagine the worst-case scenario so we can face life's challenges with strength and calm when they arrive. Negative visualization works on the principle that by anticipating the worst, we free ourselves from fear and anxiety. Instead of being paralyzed by uncertainty, we prepare mentally for setbacks and difficulties. Think about this. You're about to give an important presentation or face a challenging conversation. You might be overwhelmed by the potential for failure. But what if you take a moment to mentally prepare for the worst? Imagine the presentation going terribly, the conversation falling apart. What would you do? How would you handle it? This exercise isn't about being pessimistic. It's about reducing fear by confronting it head-on. By visualizing the worst, we realize that even if things go wrong, we can handle it. We no longer fear the unknown because we've already mentally prepared for it. The worst-case scenario loses its power over us when we acknowledge it, and we can respond with a sense of calm and clarity. For example, think of a situation where you feel anxious, like potentially losing your job. If you practice negative visualization, you might imagine that you lose your job. You think through the worst aspects of that scenario: the emotional impact, the financial stress, the challenges of finding a new job. But in doing so, you also realize that you have control over how you respond. You can plan for the next steps, find new opportunities, and even grow from the experience. This practice ties directly into Stoic resilience, accepting that adversity is inevitable, but also an opportunity to practice virtue. By embracing the potential for hardship, we stop fearing it and instead use it as fuel to grow stronger. Negative visualization makes us see obstacles as opportunities to practice wisdom, patience, and emotional control. In dark psychology, there's a similar concept. Understanding and preparing for the worst can give us emotional control and eliminate the fear that holds us back. Stoicism teaches us that the future is uncertain, but we don't need to be afraid of it. Instead, we face it with a sense of acceptance and amor fati, the love of fate, whatever it brings. So, I challenge you. What's a fear or challenge you're avoiding or overthinking? What if you took a moment to visualize the worst-case scenario and prepare yourself for it? How would that change your perspective and reduce your stress? If this concept resonated with you, like this video and subscribe to Stoic Techniques for more powerful insights. In the next section, we'll dive into the Stoic path to true happiness and lasting success, living a life of virtue. Stay tuned. Number 6, living with virtue, the Stoic road to true happiness. The final pillar of Stoic philosophy, and perhaps the most transformative, is the idea of living a life of virtue. For Stoics, virtue is the only true source of happiness and fulfillment. Everything else, wealth, success, admiration from others, is fleeting and temporary. But a virtuous life, that's the foundation for lasting peace and contentment. So what does it mean to live with virtue? The Stoics identified 4 key virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues are not abstract ideas. They are the actions and decisions that shape your character and guide you toward a life of integrity and fulfillment. Let's start with wisdom. Wisdom in Stoicism is about understanding what is truly important and knowing how to act in alignment with that understanding. It's the ability to discern the difference between what you can control and what you cannot, and to choose your responses wisely. When you live with wisdom, you don't waste energy on things outside your control, and you make choices based on what aligns with your values, not temporary desires. Next, there's courage. Stoic courage isn't about being fearless. It's about acting in accordance with your values, even when it's difficult. It's the bravery to face adversity without being paralyzed by fear. When you live with courage, you embrace challenges, setbacks, and fears, knowing that they are the tests that shape your strength. Justice is another cornerstone of Stoic virtue. Justice in Stoicism means treating others with fairness, respect, and integrity. It's about fulfilling your duties, being responsible, and contributing to the common good. When you live justly, you cultivate meaningful relationships, help others, and contribute to a society that reflects your values. Finally, temperance is the virtue of moderation. It's about controlling your impulses and desires, not letting them control you. Temperance allows you to stay balanced and grounded, whether you're dealing with success, failure, pleasure, or pain. When you live with temperance, you don't overindulge or act impulsively. You remain in control of your actions and emotions. By living a life rooted in these virtues, you don't need external validation or material success to find happiness. Happiness, according to Stoicism, is a byproduct of living in harmony with your values. It's a state of mind, not a destination. It's about knowing that you are acting with integrity and fulfilling your highest potential. The beauty of Stoicism is that it teaches you that true success doesn't come from accumulating external achievements, but from building an unshakable foundation of virtuous character. When you live with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, you find that success becomes inevitable and happiness follows naturally. I want you to think about this. What virtues do you want to embody in your life? How can you start applying them today to build a more fulfilling, successful, and peaceful life? Comment below with the phrase, "Virtue is my path to true success." Share with me how you will apply Stoic virtues in your own journey toward lasting happiness. If you found this video valuable, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on more transformative insights from Stoic techniques. Remember, The Stoic path is about mastering your mind and living with purpose. Keep embracing these principles and watch your life transform. We've journeyed through the heart of Stoic philosophy, uncovering the mental tools that can help you achieve lasting success and happiness. From understanding the power of your perception to mastering the dichotomy of control, embracing adversity, practicing negative visualization, and living with virtue, Stoicism offers a roadmap for transforming your mindset and your life. But here's the most powerful realization. The work doesn't end here. Every principle we've discussed is meant to be practiced daily. Stoicism is not just a philosophy for contemplation, it's a practical guide to action. The moment you begin applying these ideas, you start seeing the world differently. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become the creator of your own destiny. The beauty of Stoicism is its ability to help you navigate life's challenges with grace and composure. It teaches you that you're not defined by your circumstances, you're defined by your response to them. This mindset shift is liberating as it gives you the power to control how you experience the world. Instead of living reactively, waiting for the next challenge to throw you off balance, you begin to live proactively, using every moment as an opportunity to grow, to practice virtue, and to strengthen your inner resolve. When you embrace Stoic wisdom, you'll find that external factors, like the opinions of others, success, or failure, lose their grip on you. You learn to focus on what truly matters: your character, your values, and your actions. True happiness comes from living in alignment with your virtues, not from chasing after fleeting pleasures or material success. I want to leave you with this final thought. You have the power to change your mind, and in doing so, change your life. Every challenge you face is an opportunity for growth. Every setback is a lesson in resilience. Every moment is a chance to embody the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. So if you found value in the lessons of Stoicism, I encourage you to continue practicing these principles. Start with small changes and watch as they compound over time into a life of deeper fulfillment, success, and peace. Remember, the journey is as important as the destination. Keep applying these Stoic teachings, and you'll see your life transform in ways you never thought possible. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another powerful lesson from Stoic mastery. And remember, you control your mind, and nothing else controls you. Keep embracing the Stoic path, and may you find true success and happiness in every moment. Thank you for joining me on this journey. See you in the next video.